Esquire magazine, the online rag that seems to have felt it necessary to enter the world of politics, recently published an article that suggests that NRA members, and really all law-abiding gun owners, live in a fantasy land of heroic gunfights and shooting vigilantes. This article was spawned in light of one of those eyewitnesses, a survivor of the YouTube shooting, declaring that he wished he had a gun as the attack unfolded.
What's going through your mind with, people dropping, being shot multiple times, bullets whizzing, people bleeding? What's going through your mind?
Well, Leslie was on my mind, but at the same time, I knew, I had to be smart. You got to be smart. You got to be fast. You got to think fast, get smart. I didn't have a gun on me, but wish I did.
Sounds like good advice to me, and sounds like the same thing I would have wished for. The author of the Esquire article proceeds to mock people who have the desire to be safe. Those who want to be a force for good, a protector of themselves, their families, and even for strangers. The author writes this: if, for example, I was a young boy who watched both of my parents get robbed and murdered, of course I'd want to grow up, build a high-tech crime-fighting control room in a cave, and use my great wealth, martial arts abilities, and genius detective skills to become a masked vigilante who works by night. The problem with this is that it's a fantasy, and it's for children. A fantasy, I ask? For children? None of us want to be Batman, by the way. We just want to be and have the ability to defend ourselves when evil is on a rampage. I would like to remind Esquire of a real-life man, not a delusional child, but a man who was ready to face evil in the eye. Stephen Williford. Don't remember that name? Well, here's a quick refresher. Last November, just 30 miles east of San Antonio, Texas, a deranged and bloodthirsty psychopath entered a small Baptist church and commenced the slaughter of innocent churchgoers. And who do you think it was who stopped the armor-clad murderer? It was a good guy with a gun. Even more, it was a good guy with the reviled AR-15 in his hand and his NRA membership card in his pocket. Stephen Williford, the man who stopped any further bloodshed and destruction at the hands of evil, wasn't living a delusional fantasy. In fact, I would go so far as to say that he was living a heroic reality, a reality that is part of why we work so hard to preserve the individual right to bear arms, to bear pistols, shotguns, and yes, even AR-15s. So to you, Esquire magazine, I have something to point out. On behalf of all freedom-loving Americans, we know quite well we don't live in the world of Call of Duty, Lethal Weapon, or Batman. In fact, we know damn well where we live. We live in the United States of America, and we're not going to let a men's fashion magazine dictate to us the responsibilities we have to protect our lives, our loved ones, and our rights.